Look at this mess I made. You probably just want to play in it, don't you? Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel Plant Pause, where we just hang out and talk about all things plants and cats. Today we're going to be doing some repotting. I've got a little list that I need to get through today. I've got a couple hours. I figured it was time to take care of some of these plant chores that have been neglected for way too long. I have a bad habit of either taking cuttings or collecting cuttings from others and then just leaving them for way too long. So I just wanted to catch up on a little bit of repotting today. So I've got my list here on the back of my plant room door on this little whiteboard here. I just wrote down a few things I needed to do because otherwise I forget and I get way too overwhelmed. So on the list here, I need to repot my Monstera Albo cutting that I've had for probably a couple months now. Same with my Adansonii. I got those at the same cutting event, so I need to get those potted up. And then I have a few different Hoya Mathilde cuttings that I've gathered probably over a month and a half ago now. And I would like to put them all together in one pot. And then my Anthurium Gigi I got during my unboxing video, my Steve's Leaves unboxing, and it's been in sphagnum moss this whole time and it keeps drying out and falling over, so I need to get that potted up. And then I've got two water cuttings here. I've got a Splendid and a Hoya that I'm not quite sure what it is, but I need to get them out of water and into soil because they're just rooting like crazy. So since I'm in the plant room now, I'll go ahead and gather. And I think what will work best is to just set up on my kitchen counter. We're all set up here on my counter, and I got my soil mix that I already put together actually in a YouTube short. If you guys haven't seen it already, I'll link it. So I know I went over the list on the whiteboard already, but let me show you guys what we're working with today. So this is my Monstera Albo cutting that I got probably almost a couple months ago now. I got it for a really good deal at one of my very favorite plant stores here in town, and they were having a like plant sale slash cutting sale, and I had been waiting so patiently to find a good deal on a Monstera Albo cutting, and I finally found this one, and I loved the variegation on this leaf. It's so pretty. But yeah, like I said, it's been sitting in this jar of perlite for probably 2 months now or so. So this is very much needing to be potted up. The roots in it are going a little crazy. So yeah, time to pot this one up. And then I have my Anthurium Gigi. This is the one that I unboxed, one of them that I unboxed in my Steve's Leaves video. I unboxed this one along with I think like 4 other plants. But this one is in sphagnum moss. It's what it came in. And it just keeps getting really dry and then falling over in my cabinet. But also the roots are growing out of this pot. If you can see that. Yeah, so time for a repot for this one because she keeps getting way too thirsty, and yeah, the sphagnum moss isn't doing it for her. And then I've got this Adansonii. I think it's called a Laniata or a Laniata. I'm not really quite sure how to pronounce it. But this one I also got from that same event that I got the Monstera Albo cutting. But yeah, look at that leaf. It's so pretty. Since it's been in this jar, it's also put out these 2 leaves. So it's been pretty happy, which is good. But like the other one, this one has roots that are just going a little crazy. So yeah, this one needs its own pot so it can actually get a little more nutrients. And then a while back, I really was loving the Hoya Mathilde, but I didn't have any. And so I reached out on my local Facebook plant group and asked if anybody had any cuttings that they wanted to trade or that I could buy from them. and they came through. I have 3 separate plants now. These 2 I got from my Planty friends from that plant group on Facebook, and then this one I actually got as a free little cutting from that same plant store that I was talking about earlier. So I just wanted to possibly get these all potted together. They all look like they're a pretty splashy type of Hoya Mathilde, so I think it'll go perfect for them to be all together in one pot, because I really just want one big bushy pot of Hoya Mathilde because I love the way that looks. It's so cute. So yeah, I'm gonna pot those together. This is a Hoya cutting that I got several months ago now, and I don't remember what it is. I think it's one of those like Hoyas that's called Hoya UT something, some number, but I'm not quite sure what it is. So if you guys know, let me know. But it has a ton of roots, as you can see, so it just needs to be potted up. And then our last one, I just put this in this cup so it wouldn't fall over. This is a Splendid cutting that I got, oh my gosh, I don't even remember how long ago now. It's been a while. It was a 1-leaf cutting that I got, I think, several months ago, and it's been in this little tiny tube for quite a long time, I think. So I need to get this potted up and see if it'll start thriving a little more, because it looks a little sad. It's obviously not gotten the nutrients that it needs from just the water. So yeah, I'm gonna try to pot this one up and hopefully it survives. So yeah, so that's what we're working with today. I've got my potting mat here. I've got my tote full of soil mixture all ready to go. So yeah, I think we're ready to get started. Feel free to grab some plants that need repotting of your own and repot with me. I actually haven't repotted in a while. Like, it's been quite a while since I've done this. So, but I figured I should probably get this done before the season is officially ending. It's still mid-September, so it's not quite officially fall yet, but I am excited. I'm ready for fall. I love this potting mat. I got it, I think, a little over a year ago on Amazon, and it's perfect. Like, it is just perfect size. I have a bigger one, but it's just too big, and then I end up making way too big of a mess, and then I get overwhelmed with all the cleanup afterwards. I wanted to show you guys the soil mix that I'm using. This is the mix that I made up last week, and I've just got a base of, I think it's the Fox Farm ready to use soil mix, and then I just added some chunky cocoa chips here. I added both pumice and perlite because I like having a mixture of both, because the perlite seems to always float to the top of the pot eventually. Okay, I angled you guys a little bit differently so you can actually see what I'm doing here. I think first maybe we'll just start with the Anthurium. I ended up wetting down the sphagnum moss that's in here because it's a little easier to untangle and get off the roots that way. If you try to take, oh my gosh, holy cow, look at those roots. Whoa. Yeah, that definitely needs a repotting. But anyway, if you try to take sphagnum moss off of roots when it's dry, it's a lot harder. So now just comes the game where we untangle all of this sphagnum moss off these roots, which usually is a little time consuming, so I'll speed it up. Okay, so now that I got all of the sphagnum moss off of these roots, I can pot it up, and they look really good. Look at those. They're so long. I did lose a couple tiny roots here, but I'm not super worried about it. These roots on this plant look very healthy, very robust Anthurium roots. So I need to go find a pot that will fit these roots. I found some. I've got just a few options here. With an anthurium, obviously I need something that is a little bit taller, not necessarily like super wide, but because of these roots being so long and they're just so big and robust, I'm thinking actually that this pot might do it good, because this was the old one. Same like shape, but this one's bigger. I think it's a couple sizes bigger, but I think with how big these roots are, yeah, I think that'll be perfect. So let's just do that one. Happy with the way that looks. I think she's gonna be happy in there. Nice chunky mix for the anthurium. I think that looks really good. I think she'll be happy in there. And then obviously I'll water it down too, so that way it can kind of settle in a little bit more. But yeah, I'm happy with that. We can cross that one off the list. I like to keep my sphagnum moss and reuse it as much as I can. So I'm just gonna throw this in here for now, and then I'll be able to just use it for prop boxes or something like that later. I'm thinking that's to do the Splendid cutting next, because for this one, depending on what the root system looks like, I don't really think it's gonna need a very big pot, because yeah, like this is a tiny tube, obviously, but I'm also kind of scared to like pull it out of here. Oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. There's definitely like algae everywhere, which is gross. Yeah, other than there being quite a bit of algae on these roots, they actually look really good. They don't feel like squishy or anything like that. They feel pretty healthy. So I think I'm just going to rinse these roots off, get the algae off, and then we'll pot it up. Okay, so I just rinsed the roots off of this. Not the roots. I just rinsed the algae off of the roots, and yeah, they look really good. So I'm thinking it's good to go. I was a little bit scared for a second that maybe it was rotted, but it actually looks like it's got some new growth points and the roots look okay. So I think we're okay. We're good to go. Okay, so let's find a pot for this one. Well, as you can see, the roots aren't huge on this one, so I don't think I'll need a very big pot. I'm thinking maybe something like this. I think that'll work pretty good. Yeah, I don't want to go too big because the roots aren't massive, but I'm gonna wash this pot out first. Okay, I just washed this pot out, and I think this will fit in there perfectly. looks good. And then obviously, since this one just came from a water reservoir, I will try my best to keep this extra moist and not dry out. But yeah, I think once the roots get established in there, it'll be pretty happy. Okay, I think we'll do the Hoya No ID, Hoya UT something. But this one's kind of the same story. Obviously, it's in water and there's lots of algae in there. So I'm gonna clean this one off too, because those are some gnarly roots. So I'll be right back. Okay, I just washed this one off and the roots look really nice on it. This one is probably gonna need a pretty somewhat small pot too. I'm almost wondering if this pot from the Anthurium would work, because the stem is kind of long and there's roots all the way down them. So I kind of need it to be a little bit deeper. I'm thinking that one might work, but let me keep looking just in case. Ooh, I also have this one. It's like really similar, but a little bit shorter. Maybe that one will be a little bit better. Yep, I think that one will be good. I think I'm gonna do this one. What's it, Swishy? What is it? Are you getting cozy? Nothing like 4 p.m. coffee. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one potted up. Put you guys down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Now that I'm putting a little bit of soil at the bottom here, I don't actually think this pot's gonna be tall enough. I think we will have to go with this other taller one. But yeah, I think that'll be fine. Yeah, that's better. Okay, perfect. Look at that, all potted up. I like that. I think that looks really cute. Now I just need to figure out what the heck kind of Hoya it is, because yeah, I forgot. So 3 out of 6 done. Okay, I think next I'm going to tackle the Hoya Mathilde cuttings. 2 of them are in soil already, and then 1 of them is in perlite. So I think I'm going to just put them all together in one pot. So I think let's just see the root systems on those, and then from there I'll be able to determine what kind of pot we need, how big. My child's over there digging a hole in the couch, it seems like. Hey Suji, what are you doing? Okay, let's take a look at these root systems. So this one has a pretty small little root system. probably should have watered it before I did this, but here we are. All right. And then we have this guy who has less leaves on it, but a bigger root system, which is kind of funny. So we'll put those together. You know, I might just reuse this soil too because it looks pretty good and it's got like charcoal bits in it and everything. And then this one, ooh, this one's got some roots on it. Yeah. Look at that. Lots of roots. Awesome. Okay. So try to get most of this perlite off. All right. So it actually looks like this has two different vines in it. I'm wondering if I'm able to separate. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I've got two separate Hoya Mathilde vines here. So I've actually got 4 vines total. So that's going to actually be really awesome and be perfect for a nice little full plant. So now I just need to find a pot for all 4 of those. Probably something somewhat shallow and not too big. I'm thinking maybe like this one. This one's pretty shallow. If I had an even smaller one that was shallow like this, that would be even more ideal, but let's see. I have this one. Wait, is it the same size? Yeah. Well, at least now I have a color option. Let's see. Yeah, I think those are the only 2 like shallow ones that I have. I'm a little bit worried about them being too big, but the other size I have is like this one. And it's a little too deep. I don't want it to be that deep, I don't think. So I think I'm gonna just go with this size. I think that'll be pretty perfect for this one. Which color do we want to do? This one? Or this one? You know, I think I'm gonna go with this one because I like how it contrasts with the dark green leaves. Although I'll probably put it in a cover pot eventually anyway, but for now I like the orange. Okay, I just washed this pot off. It is ready to go. Yeah, I think I'll probably reuse this soil mix because it still looks pretty good. I'll just do like a mixture of my new soil and this one. Okay, I need to determine, this is my more shallow rooted one. So I think I'll probably have to put these ones in here first and cover them because they have a little bit more of a developed root system and they go all the way up the vine right here. So I think I'll put these ones in first and then throw the other ones in after. Yeah, because both of these are they're smaller root systems. So, because I don't want to bury too much of the plant. So So now that I've got it like 3/4 full, I'll go ahead and throw these in and then top it off. Okay, I think I've got them where I want them now, so I'm just gonna top it off with more soil mix. I don't really want all these huge chunky pieces in there quite yet. Okay, I think we're done. That's really cute. I really like the way that looks. Yeah, I tried to place it to where it would look a little more fuller, but like eventually hang over. Yeah, and then as it grows, I can just continue to take more cuttings of it and then replant them back in the pot so I can get a more fuller plant. But I really like the way that looks. That looks, as I just pour dirt out of it, it looks so cute though. But yeah, I really like the way that looks. That looks adorable. And then yeah, of course I'm gonna water all of these into the pot at the end so they can get established. But that is it for that one. And so we just have 2 more left to do. The Monstera Albo and the Adansonii. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous to do them. Mostly the Monstera Albo because it's an elbow. And I'm just like terrified of it dying, but it's not gonna get the nutrients it needs if it just lives in perlite. So we can do this. All right, let's go ahead and do this Adansonii and then we'll go ahead and do the Monstera Albo last. And this one is just in leca pebbles. So I'll probably just dump that out and then save those for another plant. So I'll probably just dump these in a pot for now. Maybe this one because it's broken anyway. I'm gonna go do it over the sink though because it has water in it. All right, I dumped out the little leca pebbles in this pot here. And looking at the roots, they look pretty dang good. I was a little bit like wary about this big main root here. But it's actually fine. It doesn't feel like it's rotted or anything like that. Plus there's healthy roots growing off of it too. So I think it'll be okay. I think I do want to do a clear pot for this one so I can keep an eye on the roots. I'm thinking maybe, yeah, I think this will work perfect. So it can get a little bit more established. So let me go wash this one out and then we'll pot this one up. Okay, I got this pot washed out. Yeah, I think this one will really like the chunky aroid mix. There's just something so satisfying about potting up plants and then just seeing the after. It looks so good. I like it. But yeah, I'll be able to keep an eye on the roots this way. But I've got it in some nice chunky soil. I think it'll like it in there, and then I'm sure if it ends up taking off, it'll end up filling out this pot pretty quick, but they kind of like to be root bound anyway, so I'd rather go like smaller than too big of a pot, because that can just do more damage and stress the plant out even more. So I think this is a good size to start with. Now we have to do the elbow. My coffee is cold. This has a little bit of water at the base here, but I'm just gonna dump it out here because I don't want a bunch of perlite in my sink. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Huh. Wow. I was kind of nervous when I got this one because through the glass pot I just saw, or the glass jar, I just saw a big old brown root that looked kind of dark. I was a little bit concerned, but there's healthy roots coming out all over this one. So it is fine and good to go. Oh yeah, this whole giant thing, oh my gosh, look at that. It's just one giant root. But yeah, it's got a bunch of healthy roots coming out of it, so I'm not worried about it. I think it will be just fine. Okay, so this one I do want to have a clear pot also. I like to be able to examine the roots and keep a close eye on them, especially when it's a Monstera Albo. So I'm thinking that maybe if I can get it apart. What the heck? Why are these like glued together? There we go. Okay. I'm wondering if maybe this size will be good. I think that'll do. Yeah, I think that'll do. I think that'll be just fine. All right, we're doing it. Just move all this perlite to the side. Trying not to cover the whole chunk there because it wasn't submerged with substrate in the jar that it was in before. So I'm hoping that it'll be okay like that. It's not the most like sturdy because of the way it's sitting in here, but I think it'll be just fine. I'll just water it in and I think it'll be okay. All right. Here it is in its new home. It's clear so I can keep an eye on their roots. But actually, yeah, I can see them in there. I think that it will be happy in here. I think I'm gonna water these in with a couple drops of Super Thrive just to reduce the chance of any like shock happening. So yeah, I'm gonna water these in and then cross it off my list. All right, they are all settled in. I just watered them in with some Super Thrive water. They're in their new pots, so now I just need to find them a place to live. Well, this one's in the cabinet, but the other ones I just need to put in their homes. But yeah, those are all done. All right, we can now cross off the list what we did today. Monstera Albo, Adansonii, Hoya, Anthurium Splendid, and other Hoya. I don't know about you guys, but I always feel so accomplished when I'm able to just check something off a list. Or I could just erase it, but the check marks are satisfying. Well, I think that is it for me, you guys. I am now going to go clean up this gigantic mess in front of me. I am really happy and I feel accomplished that I got all those done because it has just been a long time coming and it was way overdue. So thank you for being with me today. Hopefully maybe you got some repotting done alongside with me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you like all things plants and cats. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!